Hi! I am so excited! Yeah! It's been an awesome day on the internet. Whew! Watching Bernie. Oh my god, he just killed it on CNN. They had the last 5 candidates on, and they did a live interview with him on the screen. He crushed it. Crushed it, nailed it, burned it up. Excellent. I'll put the link down in the comment section below if you want to see it. I watched the Boise, Idaho. Over 7,000 people showed up with an overflow crowd outside, as usual. I read an article, or a little snippet of an article, that she's barely getting about 1,000. Yeah, she's barely getting about 1,000 people. Trump is getting a couple of thousand of people, but he's selling out the place with overflow people. And he even goes outside and talks to these people. That's how much of a great candidate he is. Now, she and the Dorfinator, they just use their security and go in back doors and everything, totally avoiding the people. Bernie is the man of the people. Anyway, today's rant, it's going to be a doozy. I hope this camera holds out. Is in preparation for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday 3 or 4, I think it might be 4, where Arizona, Utah, and Idaho, they all vote. And there's a lot of delegates up for stake. But today's rant is about the corruption, the rigging of these freaking elections. State after state after state. I'm going to start with Chicago, Illinois. 2 locations, Bill, her hubby, was located, found, pictures of, taken. He went inside the freaking place. He was brought in by a government official from the state. So it was like he got free pass to go in there. You're not supposed to be within 150 feet of the place. So somebody, I don't know if it was, they took it to court already, or they proposed it to the Board of Elections in Illinois, or what, but in any case, they said, well, he didn't say vote for my wife. He didn't wear any buttons or a t-shirt with her logo on it. He wasn't handing out flyers. No, he's a walking freaking billboard himself. Like, those two are one, basically. Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. I'll maybe put 1 or 2 links of some Twitter pictures showing, and there's also video of him. Okay, so because of that, there's been a petition to the White House. It has 98,776 signatures already, and by April 14th it needs a couple 100,000 more, or 100,000 more, or something like that. Stop letting the Clintons show up at polling places during voting. Because that was the last Super Tuesday. Because prior to that, in Massachusetts, for 2 hours in Buttonwood Park in New Bedford, there's video evidence, multiple video evidence, of him standing there, blocking the entrance. They cornered off the Bernie Sanders was on one side holding their signs, but they were past the 150 feet, okay? Or they were wearing their little buttons or whatever. They cornered them off. Her supporters were closer to the polling place. That was fine for them. And they were allowed to go in and vote or whatever, and come back out and hear Mr. Bill on his megahorn saying, I hope you vote for her. But they wouldn't allow any of the Sanders people to get over the barricade. They put a barricade there and lots of Secret Service around, and they were pushing them back. So for 2 hours he did that, and they had to wait, and a lot of people had to leave. So they didn't even get to vote. Which brings up, there's 34 polling places in 74 precincts in Illinois. The Adams County Courthouse says this week, which was from today until the 25th, which is I think Friday, from 7:30 in the morning to 5:30 at night, people can go and vote. You have to sign an affidavit saying that you attempted to vote and you were turned away, or that you were on the poll books already in your precinct. You go to the clerk's office. I'll put a link down in the comment section below. Get in your vote. It could be the change of Bernie winning Illinois. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep coughing. So now back to Massachusetts. So he was there for 2 hours. Now the exit polls after all of this bullcrap went on, the exit polls show very big difference in what Bernie had as far as votes. Bernie clearly won in votes by 7%, about 600 votes. And those votes just disappeared, but her totals never changed. This was in Roanoke County. There were screenshots taken, and voting right advocates are standing up against this fraud. They're taking it to court. Okay, so back to Illinois again. At 100% of all the precincts, when they reported, according to the Associated Press, 50.5% of the votes were hers. 50.5. 48.7 of the votes were his. So that's a total of 99.2. So I guess that's within saying everything's done and over with. So the split in the delegates would be 68 for her and 67 for him. Pretty even, because the percentage was pretty close. But then, when the numbers just miraculously changed, showing that she still had that 50.5% votes, but now all of a sudden, he dropped down to 38.2. If you add 50.5% and 38.2%, that equals only 88.7. What happened? So now, on top of that, she gets 5 more delegates. For a total of 73 delegates. And his delegate only goes up 3. So now the actual vote counts increased her votes by 9,624 votes from the first final results to the second final results. But the first poll said he had 971,555 votes. But the second voting record shows that he had 201,655 votes. What kind of math is this? The exit poll, he had 50.7 and she had 48.4. It's totally freaking screwed the hell up. Illinois needs math class, remedial math class. On to North Carolina. It's shown on a CNN video. The establishment, the corporate TV show, CNN, shows her at polling places within the 150 feet. Another thing went on in North Carolina. People were turned away at the polls saying that if you were an independent, you cannot vote. Okay? 218,000 people, about 5% of the voting pool, were turned away because they need government-issued ID. Most of these issues were with the college students because North Carolina does have a strong college base. The reason why this happened specifically with the college students is because if you registered 3 months ago to vote in this primary, everything was okay. And you could use an out-of-state ID. But if you registered within the past 90 days, within the past 3 months, you had to have a North Carolina state ID. That makes no freaking sense to me. Absolutely. Just another way for the Republicans. And I guarantee she is a fucking Republican. Okay, Iowa. Bernie supporters were told they had to leave before any counting could be done of the caucus votes. What? What? Just Bernie supporters. The caucus voter takers flat out refused to allow counting of the votes while any Bernie supporters were present. Oh yeah, you tell me there's nothing going on there. Okay, Missouri, March 17th. She had a narrow lead of 1,531 votes. Under the law, Bernie could have sought a recount because the margin was less than 0.5%. So, because he said no, she'll get 2 extra delegates for winning the whole state of Missouri. Now, at that point in time, the votes were unknown about the overseas Democrats who could vote by absentee ballot, and also the military ballots. I haven't heard anything about the military ballots, but today it was announced he won. Landslide victory. 68 point something to her 31% something. Japan was the highest voter in that. Now, Nevada. This was a while ago. There's video evidence of her campaign manipulating evidence, where her representatives and her campaign, allowed to count people who were not present and to count voters who were not even registered to vote in Nevada. Also, there's undercover video exposing intentional election crimes that were encouraged by the attorney at the head of the Nevada campaign. She encouraged pollsters and people working at the polls to do election crimes. The lawyer. Wouldn't she know better? Okay, so Colorado. Bernie won it by a landslide, but she was given an equal amount of delegates. What the fuck? Florida. The Democrats showing up as an independent and not eligible to vote. Okay? One polling place said no one but a Republican could vote. A lady pushed it and wouldn't leave the polling place, and she made calls right from there at the polling place. Then miraculously, out of nowhere, hidden deep in the back of a freaking closet, boxes of Democratic polling ballots showed up. Oh, and the DNC, more specifically DWS, we all know who that is. She has an opponent, a professor from Shepherd Board College of Law and Nova Southeastern University. He's a liberal economist and a longtime Wall Street reform advocate. His name is Tim Canova. For the primary in Florida in the 23rd district, he's running. He opposes Debbie's position on trade, where she, with 28 other Democrats also, which is a shame, they support the TPP. Debbie has also gotten $300,000 from interest groups that back the TPP. She is for criminal justice. Not for criminal justice. Well, she wants to put people away. She's for the criminal justice system. She's also for car loans and payday lenders, where the car loans are a higher interest rate. And she also went against the drug policy reform back in 2014, where she voted no to a referendum to legalize medical marijuana. Of course, she gets dollars from the private prison industry, and she sold out to the corporate interests at the expense of her constituents. Now, she has also denied him access to the Democratic van system, it's called. That's an acronym, V.A.N. It's the system that the Democrats can use to access the voter base. How many Democrats are in the system? They send out flyers, make phone calls, all that. Campaigning. Denied him access because he's running against her. He's a Democrat running against her. Georgia, a significant amount of voters reported that the ballots that they received didn't even have Bernie's name on it. There was no place for them to write it in either. Because this isn't the general election, this is only the primary. Ohio. I hope and pray that this crazy freaking idea that some independents and some Democrats had in this Ohio, which most likely, I think it was just all Ohio, was to vote for a Republican candidate, Kashish, I think that's how you pronounce his name, so that the Drumpfinator wouldn't win. That's absolutely not the way to go. There was 35,000 independent voters in the state of Ohio. The exit polls show that 7% of the 100,000 of Republican votes actually were regularly Democrats, and 25% of those, or about 35,000, were independents. So the independents were supposed to go for Bernie, 35,000, and Democrats were supposed to go for Bernie. No. That would have been 100,000. They went for Kashish. Bernie lost Ohio. If someone had done the math, they would have figured out that Kashish would still have to win 110% of the rest of the state delegates in order for him to beat Trump. So that was flawed thinking. Just wiped out Bernie's votes. Wiped out a state from him. Wiped out delegates. Vote for Bernie. Stick to it. Don't listen to other crap going on. Every single poll shows how wide of a margin Bernie would beat the Drumpfenstein. So cast your vote where it matters the most. In favor of our man Bernie, definitely. Now, early voting has been eliminated in a lot of places, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. There's also been elimination of pre-registering 17-year-olds that will be turned 18 prior to the general election. They're eliminating that to get rid of that voter base. Eliminating same-day registrations that are happening at caucuses and some primary places. They're also allowing people to vote outside of their assigned precincts for convenience sake. Eliminating all that because they see the Democrats growing. They see the independents growing. Republicans are scared. So they're trying to eliminate any possible way they can so that only they get the vote. Okay, so Washington, Colorado, and Oregon hold elections almost entirely by mail, and 30 states plus DC allow you to register online. Now, 7 states have curtailed early voting, and 13 have added ID requirements. ID requirements hinder a lot of low-income communities, voter base. I just got, not too long ago, an ID. I didn't have an ID for 4 years, 5 years, once my one expired. I actually had to save up $1 a month, practically, in order to afford it. But I wasn't going to miss this fucking election. 500,000 in Texas, 300,000 each in North Carolina and Wisconsin, 200,000 in Virginia, all had no IDs. Wisconsin, Alabama, Mississippi, half of all ID issuing offices aren't even open 5 days a week. Maybe one of the worst in Wisconsin is Sauk, S-A-U-K City. Now that place is only open from 8:15 in the morning to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, which is a standard 8-hour day. That's fine. But only on the 5th Wednesday of the month. Now the 5th Wednesday of the month only occurs every 4th month. So there's only 4 months a year for 8 hours that somebody can go get an ID in Wisconsin so that they can vote. They make it real convenient, don't they? Alright, so that's my rant so far about the corruption. I hope tomorrow that the 3 states that I mentioned, Arkansas, Idaho, and Utah, the rallies all seem very positive online. The messages seem perfect that Bernie is getting out to everyone. He seems to have a great momentum. The hashtag is still Sanders, and I agree with it. We have to win these coming up so that he can stay in the race, so that he can get our delegates, so we can go to Philly at that convention. It's his right, it's our right as Americans. We need Bernie Sanders as the head of this country.